Hello friends. So today we at Integrated Homeopathy is coming again to you with a new remedy, Positronium. This is a remedy which has been proved by Dr. Misha Norland, and this is a remedy which has many aspects in it. But today we are going to present to you one particular aspect of this remedy, and it is being presented through two cases. Dr. Kushala Salian and Dr. Anita Bajaj both will share their cases. So I will invite Dr. Kushala Salian. Yes, Kushala, please share your case.
Thank you, Shobha. So, hello friends. Once again, let us explore this remedy through a case. This case is peculiar in this aspect is what he says and how he says was something very, very peculiar in this patient. So this young man, around 19, came to me somewhere in 2021. He is a student of engineering. And he said that there is pain in my left lumbar and left gluteal region on and off. And it is worse when I make quick movements while playing football. There are nerve clamps and there is a sensation in the left lower leg. There is pressure in the quadriceps on rotating ankle. It affects my playing. It does not allow me to stretch my left leg. I feel some weakness in my left hip and gluteal area. I feel that my nerves are standing out and there's low blood flow, but there is no pain. So I asked, how does it concern you? He said, it will affect me in later years. It will damage me in the long run. It should not affect my whole physicality. It's going on for years and years on and off. And it's worse when I make quick movements. It feels my left leg will be weaker than the right leg. My left leg is looser and right leg is tighter. The left leg, I can see the veins while the right leg looks muscular. 3 months back, my legs had strength. My whole attention is on the left leg when it starts. Muscles feel flabbier and I'm better by stretching my leg. What do you feel about it emotionally? I asked him. I feel I should get rid of it. I don't want it to come in the way of getting stronger and faster. It affects me while playing. It does not allow me to perform to my optimum level. I need to focus on that. It affects my left side. The trapezius gets weaker. I feel my left side is weaker. My triceps muscles are standing out. It makes me uncomfortable. It is there, but there's no sadness or anger. When I sit, I feel like I'm sitting in some wrong posture. I keep stretching. Even when I exercise, I feel my entire form feels incorrect. It's affecting my exercise. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I'm not able to perform my level best. My left toe, the sensation has reduced. There is a weak muscle-mind connection on the left side. When I do squats, I feel I'm going somewhere else. Sometimes some pop sound will come and it'll make it better. So I stretch. I feel some nerves are squeezed in the left hip and in the left gluteus. I'm uncomfortable all the time. It's irritating when I exercise. The hip muscle is not taking weight. It's going elsewhere. Exercise is going in vain rather than making me stronger. It's going elsewhere. My awareness is on the higher side because I know I have studied about muscles. And because of this problem, I read about muscles. So when I exercise, I'm conscious कि क्या चल रहा है और क्या नहीं चल रहा है as to what is happening or what's not happening. And I have DNS problem also. I feel this pressure on my nose. I feel one nostril is always closed and the breathing is low. I'm not able to use my lungs to the optimum level. So with this information, he was talking so much about his muscles and left side and right side. I was thinking how to gather it, though I tried my best to get whatever info I could get. So then I thought, let me repertorize and see what is coming. So I took anxiety about health. In complete repertory, awareness heightened is given as consciousness expanded. Awareness heightened of his own body is given as consciousness expanded. Senses acute. Delusion, body parts separated, divided. That's what he was saying, left side and right side. Delusion imaginations, left and right side are not the same. And the remedy which covered up all these rubrics was positronium. So I gave him positronium 200, one dose. Within a week, his tightness was released. He was feeling much better. His sensations were better. Something is still wrong in my left iliac region, but it's fluctuating. It's better than before. Again, after 2 months, he came with a similar follow-up for which I had repeated one more dose. So this was one of the follow-up in which I studied this remedy. So I retrospectively went into the nature of this person. I went and studied his nature. So in that, I found that he's a very mild, calm, for his age, is very balanced. He's extremely sympathetic to animals, and he's caring towards his old grandparents and friends also. He's non-judgmental about friends. If somebody performs less or does something good, bad, whatever, he doesn't judge anybody. He has a passion for football, but now it's dwindling, and now he's into a lot of gymming. He studies about the various exercises. He takes a diet chart. He goes regularly, but he's aimless in his career. He said, I don't know where it's leading to, and I feel no motivation to study. I feel this is routine and monotonous, nothing challenging mentally or physical capacity like the football. So he's in a conflict whether I should do routine study or I should do something innovative. And he's not competitive. He doesn't believe that I need to defeat somebody and perform better than others. I want to learn and improve from others. At the same time, whatever I know, I would like to teach others. So in that sense, he's very balanced in his attitude. He's intelligent. And he does not really study so much, but he scores very well in the last minute studies. He's contented with what he scores. So even if he got 80, 85, he's a person who can, even crack an IIT, but he's okay with 80 and 85. Even if his friend has scored more than him, whom he might have helped in his studies. He does not persist in any activity. In between, he had a craze for football and he pursued it passionately. He wanted to make it career. But the parents said, you should have something, academic. So they said, why don't you do engineering? And he said, okay. And he just took it up. And he's almost in the last stage and he's completing it. And that too with a lot of bunking. But he's doing well. He can score with whatever minimum effort that he puts in. He's not ambitious for himself. He's happy with whatever he gets. Parents are financially well off and he's the only child, so they can provide him very well. But for his age of 19, children demand so much, but he never demands. He never say, I want bike or I want some expensive mobile or some new gadgets or iPhone or this or that. Though the father is all the more willing and wants him to take a bike and wants him to ride. Since all is there, he feels that it's enough. I do not need any more. He did not see any ambition to score well or earn a lot of money. He doesn't feel that I need to, go abroad, do this, do that, have some big house and fancy bikes and live a luxurious life or go for foreign trips, nothing. Now his only focus is on gym, workouts and diet regime. Since a year, but there is a slight change in him. He is riding his father's bike. He drives a car. And also lately, he has given his GRE for Masters in Engineering in USA. And he's getting focused. He's applying colleges abroad. With minimum effort, he scores well. There was a case in his society where a driver ran the car on a stray cat who was, lying under the car. And it almost smashed the cat's head and the eyes were popping out, everybody just looked and passed off. This young man, he ran up, bought his basket, put the cat in and ran to the vet, got it treated, got those, eyes which are popping up removed, got it operated. He spent almost 1 lakh on all this and he took a lot of care. For 6 months, he kept that blind cat with him, tended it, nursed it, made it well until he found some home for it, a lady who looks after these abandoned cat. So he was so much caring for this cat. He went out of his way to do all this. But I did not see any directed ambition in this boy. And he is under my treatment since childhood. But I found him very sensitive, intelligent, but not very focused in career. And he wept also when he spoke about the lack of direction. But the mother always said that he's very mature and he can handle if there is any family quarrels or fights, he handles it in a very mature way. And he's a very balanced child. For his age, he's extremely balanced. So when we put down the rubrics, I took he's affectionate, he's got a lot of anxiety about health, his comprehension is easy, he's intelligent, there's this confusion about what direction to take. His consciousness is expanded, that is, his awareness of his body is so high. His senses are acute. He's very contented with himself. Delusion, body parts separated, divided. Delusion, side, left, right, not the same. And he persists in nothing. And he's extremely sympathetic, compassionate towards animals, undertakes many things, persists in nothing. So again, when you repetize all this, again you see that positron covers all the rubrics of this. So then I gave him again positron 200, and so far, by the grace of God, he's doing very well for himself. He's now actually focused on his admission process, and the parents are also happy that the child is taking a proper direction in his life. So this is one aspect of the case of positron, which we would like to share today. So now I invite Dr. Anita to share her case of positronium.
Thank you, Kushala. Shobha, you'll have to share my PPT. So friends, we saw one case where, there was a lot of heightened awareness about his muscles, left and right side, and he was almost, very vividly describing what is wrong with left side of his body. So on similar lines, I had this patient who is 44-year-old, lean, thin, sick looking, mild and soft spoken patient. He is male patient. He came with complaints of poor health, low weight, low immunity, IBS, insomnia, multiple complaints. And he started the interview with his medical history since childhood. He said, I didn't eat well in childhood. And, his mother also did not force him to eat. So they would give, some quick, chapati, sugar and all that. So that child generally eat chapati with sugar and ghee. So he was given that. So a lot of there was no balanced diet. So he thinks that because of this lack of nourishment in childhood, he suffered from seasonal cold. His immunity was low. Then he had jaundice. Then in 2007 and 8, he had malaria, which relapsed, during which he took a lot of allopathic medicines, due to which he had a lot of side effects, weakness, no desire to work. But with strong willpower, he continued working. He did a lot of research. He said, I became half doctor myself. He did workout and gained 10% weight. But recurrent viral was there after working out, as he used to get exhausted. So he stopped working out. He has digestion issues, gases retained. Every 3-4 months, he's used to suffer from intestinal obstruction. I think it must be partial obstruction. And he cannot digest. It was diagnosed as IBS. He said, I'm living in hell. Only because of my willpower, I kept working. Next. So he said, I don't have any appetite. My digestive juices are not getting made. Because of gas, no oxygen in body. You are working on 50% of oxygen supply. You can't eat, you can't sleep. You go back by 2 months. If I eat food, it gets stuck here. He pointed to his chest. It feels full, can't eat more. Then it goes down slowly. Then it gets accumulated here. So he's trying to, point out his lower abdomen. Then he feels full. Because I eat less, there is no weight for the stool to come down. Colon is slow. There is heaviness. I have to pass motion twice in the morning. And I sleep only 1 hour. I feel so helpless. It is like, I am living in hell. Gas is stuck. It is not moving. My colon moves very slow. And he feels very helpless and there are sluggish movements. So, last slide dikhana. So you can almost, visualize way he describing how the food is going from the upper abdomen to the lower abdomen. And he himself is also quite conscious of where the food is lying, where the gases are, how the movements are. So if you focus on this, you will see the similarity with Dr. Kushala's case. Next slide. So since 1.5 years, he changed his lifestyle. He became more disciplined. He started doing exercise. He started playing badminton. He says, if you chew your food 100 times, it is like you should drink the solid. You chew it so much that it becomes like a liquid and you drink it. You don't eat it. So that way, so much you should chew. So it almost gets digested in the mouth itself. It is half digested in the mouth. But for that, you need patience. I cherish food. I avoid junk. Eat consciously. Hence, now feel better, but difficult to follow this. Hence, I fear that it may go bad again. Like chewing 100 times each morsel. So hardly there is any time, when you are having lunch in the office, it becomes very difficult. And whenever he feels hungry, he feels like eating. And if he feels more, then for the next meal, he feels too heavy. So he cannot have the proper balanced meal instead of, having something in between. So that again, causes problem that he is not putting on weight. He said, I was ignorant, did not take care. Now I take care of my daughter also properly. Stool is not satisfactory. It's not formed 2 to 3 times in a day. If stool is normal, I feel more oxygen is there in the body. I feel more confident. Confidence is better. Being thin, first impression is not good. He's CA. But still, if he, seeing his personality, he doesn't look that presentable or impressive. So he feels that being thin, first impression is not good. Nobody takes me seriously. But then seeing my performance or work, people realize. I understand. I would have also judged someone in the same way who is looking like me, So I want to conquer my mind. Now in this case, family space is such that father is no more. Mother is there, but mother doesn't have much say now since the father is not there. She has lost her husband, so she has become little milder. Elder brother is selfish and he wants share in property. Now it so happened that patient cleared a CA before his brother cleared, though brother is elder. He had more attempts. So patient started earning much before his brother started. And brother also got married. So from patient's income, they had bought a new house. They, took a lot of furnitures and everything, electronics and everything. They got brother married. So all those expenses were done from the joint family income and father had not earned that much. So his income was the sole income at that time. So now, brother is claiming half the share, whereas patient has bought the property. So patient feels it is unjust. But then brother is not ready to listen to him. So there is this fight going on, because of which there are very cold vibes in the family. Nobody gets along well with anyone. they are just, stuck up in that house. Nobody wants to leave because elder brother feels if I leave, I will not get my share. And younger one patient feels that if this is my house, why should I leave my house? So the legal battle is going on with relatives, mediation also. Things are not solved as elder brother is very adamant. So this is the problem which he is going through. Shobha, last. But patient feels, I don't want money. Health should be good. Patient is not very proactive, and like when the brother asks for time, he is waiting patiently. Whereas patient's wife also is my patient. She is, she always feels that I'm stuck up here. We can't progress. It's better that we only leave the house. We should buy a new house. At least we will live peacefully. But then this patient is okay. He is okay with whatever is going on in the family. He feels his wife is more sensitive to all these things because she has to spend the whole day at home. So now in this case, like I took, for me, all the symptoms were very weird way. He was describing that I'm eating and it should get digested in the mouth itself. We should drink the food. We should chew it 100 times. It gets stuck here, then it gets stuck here, and the movements are sluggish. So I thought he is completely, centered on his complaints. He is centered on his GI tract, digestion, and because of which, he feels all his problems are there. So I took the rubrics anxiety about one's own health, awareness heightened, centered in body. Because generally we have awareness at all the levels, mental awareness, physical awareness, spiritual awareness. But his whole awareness seemed to be, focused on his body only, or where the food is going, from where it is going, where, at what stage of digestion it is, how much gas is there, how much stool is passing. Everything he can visualize as if, we are seeing a scan. So positron is used for PET scan. So they are able to visualize their internal organs. So in the same way, this patient is also describing everything. So heightened body of three-dimensional. Three-dimensional is length, breadth, and depth. So he is able to, visualize his whole structure in all the 3 dimensions, where he is describing the whole process also. So what is the difference between consciousness and awareness? Conscious is you are conscious that it is there, but aware that you are also aware of the mechanisms behind it, or what do you understand about it. And because of this, he becomes very careful in eating. So he said, I was not very much aware of diet and nutrition, but now I have become careful what I should eat, what I should avoid, and how I should improve my daughter's health also. So he's become very careful, change desire, because he wants now to become more healthy. He wants a positive health. Clarity of mind is there, how to go about it. He also feels content because he is not after money. He says, my health is more important than the money. So he's not, trying to be very proactive to kick his brother out. Delusion of to the erroneous state of his body. So what he was attributing was because of improper nutrition in his childhood, his mechanism had gone for a toss. So there was error in the digestion process. So delusion persecuted is because of all his, complaints that his food is stuck here, there is a lot of heaviness here. So he feels persecuted, he feels harassed by all these complaints. Then there is forbearance. What is forbearance? Forbearance is a positive quality where there is a lot of tolerance. So he feels because of my strong willpower, I could sail through all these things. If somebody else was there in my situation with 50% of oxygen and so much, poor nourishment, they wouldn't have gone so far. But then he has always worked hard and he has proved himself. So mental power is also increased because of that. Reflecting, because he's reflecting on everything. Reflecting is when you reflect back on all the processes which you have gone through. Theorizing, because he has all these theories that you should drink your solid food, chew it so much 100 times, then only it will be digested, it will nourish your body. There are a lot of theories which he's making in his mind. Because of this, this is happening. Because of this is happening. So he's making all those connections. The same thing is analytical thinking. Now, theorizing is empty theories, like it may be there, it may not be there. But analytical thinking, when you are reasoning out, when you are analyzing various factors, you come to these theories, or you can reason out things or develop your logical thinking also. So if you consider the life space, then he has this delusion wrong suffered because of his brother's domination. Then delusion trapped he is, because there is no way out. They can't leave this house. Brother is not leaving the house, so they are stuck here. Then there is indignation because of brother's actions. Then irritability, insincerity of others strong. Brother also knows that he had started earning much before me, but still he is being insincere and he is claiming for a more share. Mildness, patience, and pertinacity, because he is sticking on. Through all these health issues also he is sticking on. So if we see the word meanings, forbearance is to endure, to bear, to carry forward, bearing the suffering. So it's not just bearing, but you are moving ahead with it. You are carrying on. Then analytical thinking is capacity to examine carefully in order to understand and explain. Awareness versus consciousness is being aware of something around you. I am conscious of my pimples. I am conscious of my pigmentation, like that. But then awareness is knowledge of some process. So if you become self-aware how my emotions are affecting my reality or my reactions, then you can bring a change, not only by being conscious. So you also have to become aware. And it is like, you can be aware, but not, you can be conscious, but not aware. But awareness can't come without consciousness. Erroneous is not correct, and it is based on wrong information. So you should chew your food 100 times. All the problems are because of childhood lack of nourishment and because of malaria treatment and all that. So all this is, which has caused the error in his functioning. So all these are misconceptions and theories. And all these theories are for the erroneous state of his body. Because his digestion process has gone for a toss. Yes. Thank you. Shobha will be explaining the positron more with the help of few other rubrics.
Yeah. Thank you, Anita. Yes, friends. So we learned a very beautiful cases shared by Kushala and Dr. Anita, and wonderful cases. And both the cases are telling us about, the one particular aspect of this remedy, and that is talking about the awareness being heightened. Okay. So friends, what is this positronium? The positronium belongs to the imponderable group of remedies. Now, what is imponderable? The imponderable meaning, it is meaning not ponderable. That means that something that is difficult or something that is impossible to estimate, to calculate, to weigh, or to evaluate with exactness. The remedies which come under this group of the imponderables, few of them are positronium, electricity, black hole, ignis, and laser beam. Now, these are the remedies. They are like extremely powerful. They are invisible. They are immaterial. That means they don't have any body. They are bodiless. They are formless. And they cannot be substantiated. And they are without the limits. So what we understand from this is like that the positronium is a very higher level of energy medicine. Okay, so if we see into the positronium, then it is high level of energy, and there is no definite structure which has been seen. The way we saw that there is no body, there is no form, there is no structure which is there of the positronium. It is the energy. So in this, what is seen is there is a morbid conceptions that the patients have, at the level of the thoughts, also at the level of the senses. And we saw in both the cases of Anita and Kushala that we saw all these rubrics and all these aspects which were covered in both the cases was of the heightened awareness of the body. And the consciousness was quite expanded about their body. The senses were acute and they were going on theorizing, making the theories about whatever they were experiencing about their body. And they had a very high level of, intellectual, analytical mind through which they were going on theorizing. Then their mental powers were increased, and both of them, like, they felt that, as if their body was separated and their body was divided. So we see in positronium that, this type of lot of rubrics are available in positronium, which is related to body. If we see in this chart, then these are some of the rubrics, but there are many more than this also. That there is a, like, you feel that there is a morbid concept about the body, about these things. The rubrics like, body is delusion, body is dry. These are their perceptions. These are all the delusions that the body is dry, or body is one, they are one with the body, or they see the completeness of its inner structure, or their body is very heavy, or it is thick, or the body is, it is one with his body and at the odds with the world. Our body is torn into pieces, into two pieces. Then they feel that the body is seized up, and it is seized up into, it has turned into stone. Then they feel that the state of his body is erroneous, and body is a stony tomb. Body looks very ugly. Also, along with the body, like, what we see then in positronium, there are rubrics related to hands, legs, their heart, genitals. They feel the body is divided into two parts, body is enlarged, their genitals are shrunken, both the sides of the body are not same, like right and left bodies are not same. The way we have seen all this into the Dr. Kushala's and Dr. Anita's cases also. Now, because, like, the remedy, the positronium is having a very high spirituality and a higher level of energy within it, because they are not bothered about the superficialities. And you will see in this patients also, that they get really irritated seeing the insincerity of others, because they themselves hold very high values, within their own selves. We see them very tranquil, very calm and mild people. There is a rubric: tranquility, settled, centered, and grounded. They are content, they are sympathetic towards the animals. In Kushala's case, we saw that, the patient has spent almost 1 lakh of rupees behind that cat, and he did it everything with lot of sympathy and care for that, took care of that cat. So there is a sympathy which is seen towards children. These people they are highly benevolent, and they have desire to be useful to others. There is a delusion that he is a gnome. Now, what is gnome? The gnome is a person who is a protector or who is a guard. So they feel, themselves being protecting or being a guard to an extent that they take their role. They feel despair about the planet. They feel despair about the future of the planet. They cannot tolerate anything wrong going on around the planet, people doing wrong to the planet, and they are handling affecting the environment in a very bad way. These people of the positronium cannot take it up. They go into the despair seeing all this, because they themselves are, they feel themselves being gnome and being protector and guard. So they will also start taking the actions over it, because they are very higher up into the spirituality, and they have that purity desire for. They are the people who are into the gratitude, who will always feel themselves having the feeling of gratitude towards the others, with that positive thing which is coming up. And at the same time, if we see, then they have that sensation of unification with the world. And when they go into the other end of this, we also see in positronium the rubrics like, disconnections and the detachment at the end when they go into the other polarities. So friends, finally, like, what we see is that positronium is at the level of energy, at the level of the higher consciousness, at the level of the spirituality. So friends, this is one aspect of the positronium that we have tried to study and present to you, because both the cases of Dr. Anita and Dr. Kushala were presenting this aspect into their cases. So there are many more aspects to positronium, but which we will come up into our some other videos through some other cases. I think Dr. Anita has one more case of positronium, which is of another aspect. So I think next anytime she will present that, we will go into the more details of it. Right, Anita?
Yes.
This was from my side. If you want to add up anything, Anita or Kushala, please.
So basically, positron is the positive charged electron. Like there is negative electron and then positron. And normally, naturally, they exist at a distance. But if they come together, there will be a loud, explosion and energy will be released. So it is known as matter, which is formed with electrons, antimatter, which is formed of positrons. So this is like an alternate reality. And the energy. So in the whole remedy, you get rubrics which are of, matter, antimatter, and energy. So there is a positive aspect. There is a lot of polarity in this. Like if I cite the example, there is clarity of mind on one side and confusion of mind as to his identity and boundaries, personal boundaries. Then there is cowardice, and at the same time, there is lack of reaction to danger. Then there is delusion. He is one with his body and at odds with the world. And on other side, there is unification with everything. Then third, there is purity desire for, and there is detachment also. So then there is delusion, evil. He is evil and does not care. And at the same time, there is a rubric where there is, dwells on past disagreeable occurrences with forgiveness. Then he has gratitude. At the same time, he feels that God's works are ill-made. So he becomes anti-God also. So there are a lot of, it's a very widely proved remedy which has a very wide range of rubrics which cannot be, fitted in one image. So we will always have different aspects and different shades of positron. You can approach it through imponderable theme like energy, where there is no, it is invisible and there is so much of power in it. And on other side, you can also approach it through rubrics, which are, multiple of rubrics. So this is just the one aspect, because we both had cases of similar shade. We have tried to share this, but it's a very wide remedy. So there can be different facets. We will continue to study this remedy.
True.
Kushala, you want to add anything?
No, I think we have done.
Thank you, friends. Do share and subscribe, and please comment on in YouTube only, so that we can follow your comments and we can reply to your comments. So we will meet again with a new remedy. Thank you.